8.2, factoring by grouping. So this is whenever you have four terms here, 2a to the third minus 8a squared plus 3a minus 12. First thing you want to do is make sure that your polynomials are in order from greatest to least. So we've got a to the third, a to the second, a to the first, and then our constant terms. So these are in order, so we can go ahead and move forward. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put a grouping between the first two set of terms and the second two set of terms, leaving the addition symbol outside the set of that parentheses. Next thing you're going to ask yourself is, what is my greatest common factor? What will come out of both a 2 and a negative 8 evenly? The answer is a 2. So we're going to take that 2 out. Now we need to look at our variables. How many a's can come out of a to the third and a to the second power? Well, a way that you can help yourself is by writing up above that this means a times a times a, and a squared means a times a. So how many will come out of both terms evenly? And the answer is 2 of them. So we're also going to pull out a squared. And then I'm going to cross off my 2 a's that I pulled out of each of my terms there. Now let's put a set of parentheses and see what is left. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. So 1. And then how many a's are left? Just this one. So a. Negative 8 divided by 2, negative 4. So minus 4. And there are no a's left because we pulled both of those out. So you can close your parentheses. Now we're looking at the second set. What comes out of a 3 and a negative 12 evenly? The answer would be a 3, and we're pulling out a positive 3. So I'm going to say plus a 3. There's an a here, but there's no a's here, so you can't pull out any additional a's. So we're going to see what's left. 3 divided by 3 is 1. The a is left. Negative 12 divided by 3 is 4. Negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4. And then we're almost done. We've got to see what our factors are with the information that's left. Well, if you notice, what's in parentheses here is exactly the same. 1a minus 4, 1a minus 4. So that's one of our factors. And instead of writing a 1 in front of my a, I'm just going to say a. So one of my factors is a minus 4. Then my other factor is what's on the outside here. This negative 2a squared plus this 3. That's my other factor. 2a squared plus my 3. Now, if I set up my box method and double checked myself, I'm going to come right back to this answer right here. So I'll go ahead and do that for the first one here. So a minus 4, I'll put along the top. 2a squared plus 3 along the side. So 2a squared times a, that gives me 2a to the third, because remember that a is really to the first power. Whenever you multiply polynomials, you add their exponents. 3 times a, 3a. 2a squared times negative 4, negative 8a squared, and 4 times that 3, negative 4 times the 3, negative 12. There are no like terms that I can combine, same variable to same powers, so I can just match this right back up to my original problem here. 2a cubed minus 8a squared plus 3a minus my 12. So I know I factored this correctly. So now I can find my zeros just like we did using the diamond method and the quadratic formula. We're going to find out where this will cross our x-axis. So a minus 4 equals 0, and 2a squared plus 3 equals 0. Well, here if we add 4 onto both sides, we get a is equal to 4. So our shape will cross the x-axis at 4. Here, even though there's a squared term here, we're still going to solve this like we would any other equation. So we're going to subtract 3 on both sides. So then we're left with 2a squared, I'm going to write this over here, 2a squared equals negative 3. We're going to divide both sides by 2. So then we're left with a squared equals negative 3 halves. Then to find out what a is whenever you have a squared, you take the square root of both sides. But you cannot take the square root of a negative number. So therefore that is not a factor. So the only factor is a is equal to 4. And you can double check that right onto Desmos, and you're going to see that your shape only crosses the x-axis at one point. A is equal to 4. Okay, if we jump down to number 4 here, let's see if these are in order. D to the third, negative d squared, our constant term, and then plus 6d. So it's not in order, so we need to rewrite this so that it is in order. So I want my 2d to the third first, my negative d squared next, plus my 6d, then minus my 3. Now I can put parentheses around my first 2 sets of terms and my second 2 set of terms. What will come out of a 2 and a negative 1 evenly? The only thing that will come out is a 1. So pull out a 1. Here we've got d times d times d. Here we've got 2d, so d times d. So how many d's will come out of both of them? 2. So I'm pulling out a 1d squared. And I'll go ahead and cross off the 2d's that I pulled from here and the 2d's that I pulled from here. And so now we're going to see what's left. So 2 divided by 1 is 2. We've got 1d left. And this is really a negative 1 here. So negative 1 divided by 1 is negative 1. And we don't have any d's left. We cross both of them out. Now what will come out of a 6 and a negative 3? The answer is a 3. So a positive 3 comes out. No d's can come out. There's only one d here, no d's here. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. D. Negative 3 divided by 3 is negative 1. What's in parentheses match, so that's our first factor. So 2d minus 1. And our second factor is this 1d squared plus our 3. Or we can just simply say d squared plus 3. You could use the box method to make sure that you come back to your original problem. I'm not going to do that here. I'm going to go ahead and set up my two factors, set them equal to 0. So if I add 1 to both sides, I've got 2d is equal to 1. Divide both sides by 2. So d is equal to 1/2. So this will cross the x-axis at 1/2. Then subtract 3. D squared is equal to -3. We cannot take the square root of a negative number. So our only factor then is the 2d minus 1, and it crosses the x-axis at 1/2.